Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day today. I did have to switch around my sound settings, so please let me know if my music is disgustingly loud and I will adjust it. Yeah, so today we're working on Murzal again from our last stream. I'm probably going to be able to finish him up today. And then we're going to be working on, if I have the time, we're going to be working on the partner piece to this, which is his literal partner, May, who is my Water Genasi, Gunslinger, Tempest Cleric, and just general hot mess. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm very happy that the rain finally stopped because I was really worried that I was maybe going to lose power on the way home from work today because a couple of places nearby had lost power, and I was like, oh shit, that would be very unfortunate because I have stuff to do today. Alright, I think I want to, before we go into the highlights for Murzal, I think I do want to darken up some of the shadows in some places. Like in his eyes. I think I want it a little bit darker. Where his pupil would be. I don't usually draw the pupil in the line art because I usually feel like it's a little too harsh. So I usually try to get it into the shading. And I do want to blend a little bit more down here too. Yeah, I think it looks good. There's just a couple places that I'm going to go back over with the shading, and then we're going to move on to the highlights. And I hope everybody had a good day today. I hope it wasn't too much of a Monday for folks. Abyss, welcome in! Glad you could make it. How you doing, bud? How's your day been? How are you feeling? Right. Oh yeah, duh, I need to finish... Wow, I missed like a whole fucking section. Yeah, we should probably do that before we work on highlights. I'm just skipping ahead all of my steps today, apparently. I forgot what I left off on last stream. But that won't take very long. Also, reminder, if you have not had any water lately, or if you have any medication you need to take, please do so. Please take care of yourself, everybody, because shit's hard sometimes. Gotta take care of you. Elder Mouse, welcome in. Thank you so much for the follow. I hope you're having a lovely day today, friend. It's good to see you. How are you? Ah, Psychotic Dream, thank you so much. I feel like, sorry, Psychotic Dreamer 1, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome on in. It's exciting. Good to see you all. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. I know I already said that, but this is for everybody who's new here. Welcome, welcome. Unfortunately, cannot stay because I need to nap or rest my eyes or something of the sort. That is no problem at all. You do what you gotta do. I appreciate you stopping by anyhow. It is always good to see you. Glad to be here. I've been following you on Twitter for a while, but first time catching a stream. Oh, welcome! That's so exciting! Oh, I hope my webcam's not wobbling too much. I really need a better monitor stand for this. I just want to drop a follow and say hey and hope you have a good stream. Thank you so much, Wilder. I hope you have a good nap or a good rest or whatever it is you gotta do to recharge yourself. Because rest is important. I debated taking a nap earlier and then I decided to just make some tea. I did not actually have time to nap. So I will nap vicariously through you. Hi, Ja, welcome! I know I did not say your name correctly, and I am so sorry. But welcome on in, it's good to see you. I hope you're having a lovely day, friend. What are my neighbors doing? Sir, it is not warm enough for you to be walking around without a shirt on, but you know what? You do you, I guess. You live your best life out there. Sam is fine, okay. Hi, Sam. Welcome on in. It takes me a while to remember people's names, so I apologize if it takes me a little bit to get the hang of it. Sometimes I think I recognize somebody and I'm like, oh, but what if it's not that person? And then I look like a dingus. I love your artwork. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, today we're working on a character named Murzal. He is a paladin and he is a pirate and he is beefy as fuck. One of my cats is being a loaf in the corner. I'm surprised she's not yelling at me to be let out. We'll see how long that lasts. One of my own characters. No, this is actually commission. This is a commission. I'm finally getting through my wait list from the last time I had my commissions open, which was a very long time ago, earlier in the year. So this is a commission piece. Aided Placebo, good to see you. Thank you so much for following, and thank you for joining me for the stream. I'm fairly easy to get along with in that regard. Psychotic Dreamer, Psychotic Dreams, Mikey, Mike or Michael, pretty much anything. Well, welcome on in, Mike. It's good to have you. What a fantastic Monday. I'm very proud of myself for finally catching up on commission work because it has been a hell of a year. And I did things a little bit differently this time around. I shall call you anything. There you go. I did things a little bit differently this time around where I had a open submission form for a specific amount of time where folks could fill out the form and drop their information, and it wasn't first come first serve. I decided what I was going to be working on because I knew that this year was going to be a lot with my full-time job, and I knew I had to be a little bit more picky. And I was fortunate enough to be in a spot where I could afford to be a little bit more picky with the work that I took on. And for doing that, I gave people the option, if I did not pick you, you could have been put on a wait list so that the next time I had an open spot or I was far enough along in the originals that I would send you a message, and if you were still interested, I would work on yours. I ended up putting a lot of people on the wait list and also accepting a lot more than I probably should have. all things considered, because I was just so overwhelmed by the incredible support from all of my lovely clients. So it took me a very long time to get through my actual commission list, and now I'm finally getting to the wait list. So I don't know the best way to mitigate that going forward. It's kind of a trial and error sort of system. So we'll have to see for next time. Dropping in for a follow, attempting to do homework, but here I am on Twitch again. Mood. And thank you so much for the follow. I super appreciate it. I hope your homework is not too terrible. Seems to be a common thing in the goblin realm. Listen, we're all goblins here. Let's be real. This is a safe space for goblins because I very much am one. No shame with that. Alright, how do I want to... I think I'm gonna do his bracers, or his... No, they're not bracers if they're on your shins. Like, his shin guard armor? I should know the names of these things, but I don't. I think I want to do it a little bit differently than I normally would. Because I don't... His armor isn't brand new, so it's not, like, bright and shiny. It's weathered, and it's textured, and it has seen better days. So I think I just don't want it to be as reflective. Bluefies, welcome on in. Thank you so much for the follow. Glad to have you. Thanks for stopping by. One of my friends that does a lot of commission art had to stop taking commissions for a time being because he had way too many on his waiting list. That's kind of where I was at, and also why I'm not doing any more commissions until next year. My commission list is probably going to stay closed until after the new year, because I'm not going to have the time that I would want to dedicate to commissions, and I don't know what the beginning of my year is going to look like. Obviously, I mean, do people ever? And I have some donation commission sketches to get through from my Nerf Cancer stream a few weeks ago for my birthday. Personally had an off day and didn't get any writing done today, so I've been playing Skyrim instead. Well, I'm glad you're taking a rest, because sometimes all you need to do to boost your productivity is to just rest. And success should not be measured by productivity. I say as I am very much the type of person that does measure their success based off of their productivity, but I'm trying to get better about that. I have the attention span of a rotting legume, so homework is difficult. Mood. Specifically a rotting one, that is very specific. But I feel that, if that makes sense. That makes sense to me, anyway. Okay, I think... Let's see. I think I actually want to change up... the color. Just a smidge. I think it's a little too blue in some spots. Are you actually doing anything? No. Oh. I've literally never used that button, so that's why I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Okay. Also, hi, welcome if you're new here. I'm Shay. I do D&D art, and I cuss like a sailor, so I'm sorry in advance. Sometimes I do try to censor myself, but it doesn't always work, so I apologize. There we go. Okay, I think that's a little bit more of that not quite... There's cat hair on my microphone. What else is new? Not quite new sort of metallic color that I'm going for. Same with his sword. I want to grunge up his sword a little bit. I think I want to change the texture. Is this going to be what I want it to be? Oh, kind of. Okay. Just a little bit. I don't know. I don't want it to be Like, he takes care of his weapons. So I don't want it to be, like, rusted or gross looking. But it's definitely not, like, brand new metal either. I cuss like a sailor myself, have to censor myself when I'm at work. Luckily, I work in an environment where I don't have to do that. That had not always been the case. I used to work in retail. As you can imagine, I had to get very good at censoring myself for that. Especially when I worked at a Build-A-Bear. I got very good at censoring myself when I worked at Build-A-Bear. But that was a while ago, so all that's kind of out the window, and I'm just like, we're all adults here. I try not to in most settings if I can help it, but it is what it is the rest of the time. I cuss a lot too. At least I work one-on-one with high school kids, so they usually cuss first and give them the opportunity to repeat what they said. When I first started working at my current job, I was like, I don't know what the like office environment is gonna be like, because the job I had before that, I worked on an Air Force base, so most of the time I had to be pretty professional and not cuss a ton, especially because my office was on the same floor as a lot of the higher-ups. So when I started at my new job, I was just kind of like, am I good? Is it like, would they be offended? And then my one coworker just dropped an F-bomb for like literally the dumbest reason, and I was like, okay. Okay, I'm good. They're not gonna care. And then it became a joke that if I'm not cussing, something's wrong. Okay, I think... no. Save before I forget to do that. Trying to think how light would work. Okay. Okay. Trying to remember what the fuck my light source is. That happens way too much when I get into the shading part of commissions, or just my work in general, is I kind of just zone out, which is great until I forget what I was doing, and then suddenly certain parts just don't make any sense, and I have to go back and fix them, and I'm like, ah, shit. What was my light source again? Why did I decide it was that? What was I thinking? I'm usually able to reel it back in at some point, though, before it gets too out of hand. Usually. Save. Okay. Okay. I think now we're about ready to start on the highlights. There's a couple more spots I want to darken first, and then we'll get to working on the highlights. Because I really want to push these values just a little bit more. Like, I don't want the braids specifically to get lost. There we go. Okay, there we go. And save. Okay. Now we can do the highlights. So... let's see. Is that the color I want to go with? I think yes. So the highlights, the same that I do with the shadows, is I start pretty light. I try to start with a light hand, and then I build up past that. because it's easier for me to build up than it is for me to take away for the most part. And some parts I do want the highlights to be a little bit more subtle than others, so I don't want to go too crazy too quickly. And I also don't want it to look like he's glowing. That's just not accurate. There we go. The way I used to do highlights is I used to go straight into the shine layer, but I think that was really making things a little bit too glowy on things that I really didn't want them to be glowy for. So we're trying a different approach. We're trying a couple of different approaches on a couple of different things with this commission, while still trying to keep it recognizable as like mine, you know? He is a very hunky orc. He is all beef. This is a beefy half-orc. We love to see it. I used, as a reference for his, like, pose and body structure, I used, I figured out the name of this gentleman the last time I streamed this, and I've since forgotten, but the actor for the Mountain in Game of Thrones, which I guess there were more than one of, but he's like the first one. Bjorn something. I'm not even going to bother trying because I know I will just butcher the name. Very tall, beefy man. And he ended up being the perfect source material for the level of bulk and also the proportions, because his height is very close to Murzal's. Murzal is 6'8". Steven, if you're in chat, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 6'8" or 6'7", somewhere along those lines. Yeah, he's big. He big. Alright, and now that his skin is shaded, actually I think I'm going to go in with his hair. Do the highlights there. And he has some luscious locks. We freaking love to see it. It's almost too grayed out. And afterwards I am going to go in and clean up some of these outer lines that didn't quite get filled in when I was filling in the this base color layer. Because what I ended up doing for the line art this time around, which is the main thing that's super different about my process this time, I usually do an entirely separate, so I usually do a rough sketch, a refined sketch, a line art, flat colors, shadows, and highlights. This time I decided that I really actually liked the refined sketch so much that I was worried that I wasn't going to capture the likeness the same way in the line art. So I decided to just take the refined sketch, clean it up even more, which I did in Procreate because I have a brush in there that I like better than some of my brush options in here for sketching. And then I took that layer and I threw it on multiply so that it picks up the colors underneath and just makes the lines a darker version of that color. And I'm liking it so far. I think a couple of spots I am going to go in and recolor it because right now it's just sort of like a neutral gray tone to start with. And then when I go in and do detail work, I'm going to adjust the colors of that so that they match a little bit better in some spots. It works in some spots and not so much in others. I don't know that I'll do the, wow, I'm stuttering like a maniac today. I don't know that I'm going to do that on stream today, mostly because I don't think it's very interesting to see. It's literally just me coloring over lines that already exist. But it is something that's going to get done before this is sent off to my client, who has been extremely patient with me this entire time, and I very much appreciate everybody. Okay, and then we're going to take a much lighter color. I think I want to go in with an ink brush instead, and add the shiny bits to his eyes. That one is actually going to be not as bright. There we go. Saving. Don't forget to save, because if I forget to save, I will be very sad if something ends up happening. I'm going to blend that out a little bit. I find the process fascinating because I couldn't draw a stick figure if I had to. Closest I come to creating art is using an old Flash program called Hero Machine. I haven't heard of Hero Machine. But I have heard the stick figure line before, and let me tell you, the stick figure is the foundation to any good figure drawing, and I'm not kidding. Most of my sketches start out something like a stick figure, where it's like just getting the gesture down and like figuring out where the form is, and like it's all just stick figures, you know? You start with the stick figure, then you build off of that. So anytime anybody ever says that, I always like to remind them that that means that you have the beginning foundation of being a good artist. Everything just takes time and dedication, and you do kind of have to actually like what you're doing to get better at it. I need a ruler to draw a stick figure, literally have one in my backpack at all times. I used to think that I wasn't a real artist if I used a ruler to draw straight lines. Let me tell you, that is bullshit. I use rulers all the time, because especially if, God forbid, I ever have to do anything with like architecture, which I am not very good at drawing, like not good at drawing architecture. But I used to think like, oh, I'm not a good artist if I have to use all these tools that are available to me to make my life easier. If anybody tells you that that is the case, they are lying to you. If anybody tells you that, like, using references is cheating, they are lying to you. Now, there is a difference between using references and tracing. But you don't get better at things unless you use reference. Like, that's literally what, like, life drawing studies are. It's just a direct reference. And there's also a difference between doing something as a study and using it as a reference. Artists use whatever tool available from what I've been told. Absolutely. I just realized not long ago that this version of Paint Tool Site actually has a ruler tool, and I was like suffering for the longest time. And I had actually used, because I upgraded to a screen graphic tablet, so I was literally just using a ruler like on my screen and like using it like it was paper. And then I realized where the ruler tool is, and that made my life so much easier. When it comes to like character drawings, I don't usually use the ruler. That's usually because if it's something like that, I do want the lines to look a little bit more organic, so I don't really care if, like, this sword is not 100%, like, these are not 100% parallel, straight drawn lines. I did not use a ruler to draw those lines, because I think it just looks a little bit more realistic that way. I'd love to get better at drawing. I'm just very jittery and get frustrated easily when it comes to artsy things. Not sure why specifically art frustrates me so easily. That's completely understandable. I get very, like, one of the things that I really struggled with physically with my art is my hand tremors, which I don't know why I have them. I've had them for as long as I can remember. It made it very difficult for me to do traditional art especially. Digital art I had a little bit easier of a time doing, but I really struggled with like actual physical painting. So going to art college was kind of a struggle in that regard. But luckily, when it comes to like digital art, like I have my stabilizer on almost the like the highest setting that you can have to make sure that it doesn't screw up my lines when my hands do get jittery. I think what also took me so long to like, I don't want to say get good at art, but like what took me so long to really branch out and try different things is I thought I had to have a style, and I was more worried about having a style than I was about learning the basics and letting my art be not visually appealing to myself first. And I feel like that really hindered me, and I didn't actually start making progress until I kind of let go of that mentality and realized, oh, my art needs to look not the way I want it to look, in order for me to really learn anything, because part of learning things is making mistakes. And because I had a certain way in my head of how I wanted it to look exactly, my thought was if it didn't look like that, I was wrong. And that's just not the case, and not a good attitude to have when you're learning anything new, not just art. Um, but once I kind of had that reality check and let myself make stuff that I wasn't thrilled with but still proud of, then I started to notice that, I was actually making improvements in things, and my art was getting better. And I was happier with how it was turning out. Sorry, I totally went on like an entire rant there. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's that's a little bit of my journey of where I started versus where I am now, I guess. Not that anybody asked, but there you have it. Okay. I think his coat is sort of like this matte satiny leather color or material, so I don't want to go too high on the shine on it. Yeah, making mistakes is something I struggle with. I know it's part of learning, but I still beat myself up over them. Oh my god, mood. Like, I super feel you there. Like, even now, I feel like a lot of it came about from, like, just being that quote unquote gifted kid growing up in, like, elementary school and stuff, where, I was reading at a high reading level compared to everybody else and all that bullshit. So in my head, I was like, I can't fail ever or make mistakes ever, or I'm not good enough. And that's just not a good mindset to have. But I totally understand. Like, I recently bought a ukulele because I was like, I want to learn a new thing, because it's been a while since I've learned a new thing or a new skill. And I've had to constantly remind myself that I am going to suck so hard at ukulele for the longest time until I'm good at it, especially because I have like tiny hands that my fingers don't stretch very far. So there's entire chords that I can't do right now, that I know that if I just keep at it, I'll be able to do them, because I need to train my hand to do that. And right now my hand's like, nah, that ain't happening. But you just got practice. No need to apologize. It's nice hearing other people have had similar experiences. Yeah, that's also something that I really appreciated, the more in the art community I sort of put myself, because I was under the impression, maybe this is just me growing up like very sheltered or something, I don't know, but I was under the impression that like you could be a good artist in like 2 or 3 years tops, and then like perfect. Mwah. You knew everything you were going to do, and all you had to do was take these classes, and suddenly your art was going to be better, and you just needed to, I don't know what I thought, but it was wrong, and it was a bit of a rude awakening, that I wish happened a little bit earlier in life, but it's fine, here we are. And I didn't really understand how anything worked in the art community, in the art world, because I wasn't part of it yet. Funny how that works, right? You don't know how things work until you immerse yourself in them and experience them and like get to know stuff about it. Yeah, crazy, right? Um, and I used to be very, I didn't used to talk about that a lot. I used to not share, I still don't share like my sketchbook because A, I don't use it very often anymore. But B, when I did, I exclusively used it as my place where I could just make whatever I wanted, and I wasn't making it for the sake of putting it online or getting likes or anything like that. I was just making it for myself, and I was using it as an excuse to try new things without judgment, without perceived judgment from other people. It's really that there is a difference between judgment from other people and your perceived judgment of others. Which is a whole other thing that I'm not going to talk about right now. Pained laughter, gifted kid. Now I'm burnt out incarnate. Oh, buddy, same. Same. There was a solid, like... Oh, man, there was a solid, like, 2 years out of college where I just didn't make art. Like, straight up did not make art. I was working in retail. I had 2 retail jobs, full-time, basically, between the 2 of them. And I just wasn't making art. Because I was exhausted. And nothing I was making made me happy, so I just didn't make anything. And nothing I was making I liked, so I just didn't make anything. Because again, if it's not perfect, the first time I do it was my mentality. Why should I do it? So I definitely feel you. You are not alone in that regard. Like, unfortunately, but fortunately, right? Right. Let's see. Throw in a little bit more highlight here. And just a bit more here. Here we go. No, I don't actually like that. We're gonna take that out. Let's see, I might not like that either, because I don't know that I'm gonna like the... No, I don't like the way the brush does that. So, what we're gonna do is... Bear with me. It's gonna look really silly for half a second. I promise. I know sort of what I'm doing. There we go. And then I actually want it to be a little bit more like that. Yeah, and then we're gonna do the same thing over here, just a little bit. Because again, I don't want this to be super harsh. There we go. Okay, I think I like that. Are you going to get totally borked if I... No, okay, good. I was worried for a second. I used to write a lot and then got burned out, listening to the negative voice in my head, my late 40s, and only just started finding my writing voice again. I feel you there too. Writing is hard, and you are always going to be your, like, your harshest critic, and that's difficult to come to terms with sometimes. And sometimes you just really have to let yourself make mistakes and be kind to yourself. And I know that sounds like some fakey bullshit, but like, if you wouldn't say out loud to somebody else what you're thinking to yourself about your work, like, you just gotta be kind to yourself, you know? you gotta take breaks sometimes. Like, unfortunately, some breaks are not planned. You know, shit happens, life happens, and that sucks when that is the case. I used to draw in elementary school and did poetry in middle school. Haven't really done either since. I'm now 24, so quite literally about half my life. Treat others how you want to be treated. Applying that to myself and being kind to myself is so rough. I 100% feel you there. Like, there are times when I beat myself up over the smallest things. And also, disclaimer, just because we are sort of talking about this kind of stuff, I'm not a licensed therapist. I highly suggest, coming from my own experience, a lot of the pivotal mindsets that I've had, that I've discussed on the stream today, have been because of therapy. So, if you are truly struggling with something, I highly suggest looking into something like that, or at least counseling of some kind. And I'm not saying that to be, I'm not saying that to put anybody down or anything. I'm genuinely, that is what helped me, and that is part of the journey that I took to get where I am today, and understanding those parts of myself. So I highly encourage it for other people who are maybe finding this conversation hitting a little too close to home. Look at that shading. Yes! Hi, Juan! Welcome to stream. How are you today, friend? I've gotten a lot done today on Merzal. And saving because I don't want to lose progress. Therapy is very nice, strongly recommended, yes. And it's also been, admittedly, it has been a while since I myself have been to therapy. But it is definitely something that I've been looking into doing again very soon, just because it's good for you, you know? And you should take care of yourself the way that you think is going to be best for you. And if you don't know what that is, maybe therapy might help. It's definitely something that I wish I did a lot sooner in life. I came in at a serious time. No, it's all good. My bad on that, and agreed. Therapy is very important. Yes, don't worry. Oh yes, the little shell necklace. I almost forgot. I will draw that in. I will draw that in before this is completed. Also, hi Steven. I hope you're having a good day today. I know work has kind of been a shit for you, and I'm so sorry. If you need anything, just let me know, bud, okay? We're here for you. If you need me to fight somebody, I will. If you need me to cry at somebody to make them stop doing something, I will. I have no shame. I'll do it. Okay, what color? Okay. What layer are you? You just a new one? Okay. This is why I should name my layers, and I super don't do that. I really should. But I don't. Usually because by the time I've named things, I change it anyway. And then it's no longer helpful for me. But yes, I do need to add the little shell necklace from the turtle duck babies. I'm gonna be so sad when we have to leave them. Admiral Quackers and Mudball. And the other ones that I don't remember the names of off the top of my head because there's 5 of them. Turtle duck babies. So Merzal and my character May are from the same D&D one-shot, and after the one-shot we started to play them on a D&D roleplay server that we're in together, and we fought, I think it's technically a monster hunter monster, but it looked like a turtle duck, and they ended up, you know, the creature had babies, and we didn't realize they had babies until after we took care of the mama and the papa, and Merzal and May were just like, ah, fuck, we're kind of responsible for these now, aren't we? Okay, I guess we should take them with us. We should take them back with us, because we'll feel bad if they, like, get eaten by something bigger than them and all that fun stuff. So they adopted some turtle duck babies. 5 of them. There's Puffball, Scuttles, Admiral, Quackers, Mudball, and then I think one had yet to be named by the time we... Wait, what's good content? Why are we fighting me? What did I do that I need to fight me? What? Fight Juan, no reason. Just think it would be good content. Oh, I would never fight Juan. I could never hurt that sweet, adorable, innocent face. And I'm pretty sure Juan also could not hurt my sweet, adorable, innocent face, so it would just be a draw. Awesome. Shay versus Juan like Fraser versus Ali. I said there was no reason, just good content. I mean, that's fair. I would fight you via D&D characters, maybe. I thought I did. I didn't allow something for some reason. No, you're fine. Steven's just being Steven. He's just being a goob. I just remembered I have tea. It's not warm anymore. Which is unfortunate, but it's fine. I also put way too much cream in it. I usually just put milk in it. But I have Starbucks pumpkin spice creamer, and I was like, I don't know, maybe that'll taste good. And it does, but I added way too much. So now it's like way too pale. But it's fine, I'm powering through it. Okay, now I want to throw some highlights on his armor, and this is where I'm going to be doing a shine layer. Still so glad that you loved your character enough to dedicate to him, Steven. Shay, describe your fight style in art terms. Pointillism. Because I'll just poke you a bunch of times and hope you go away. That's the best I got. I am not a fighter whatsoever, so pointillism. Alright, this is gonna be a lot of blendy blends. Oh, I do need to change that back to smear, though. Okay. I hope that was a satisfactory answer. Is that an art dad emoji? I love it. Art dad! I'm like kind of sad. Okay, spoilers if you haven't seen the State of the Roll, or if you don't care, I'm sorry. I'm a little sad that they're not doing the art reel anymore, but I completely understand why. And also it kind of felt like they were starting to pull away from that a little bit anyway. That's it. That's all I had to say about that. I haven't, part of why I'm not going to be taking commissions until next year also is because I have a lot of fan art for a lot of different things that I would absolutely love to be doing, and just have never been able to make the time to do. And I decided to change that going forward, because while I love doing commissions and I love bringing characters to life that other people play, fan art and doing personal work is really where I get to kind of change things up a bit and test like new brushes and new techniques and just try different things and not worry about a final product for a client. So I'm very excited for some of that at some point. Alright, now I think what I want to do is... Let's see. I didn't actually make this a shine layer. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to like how this looks when I actually make it a shine layer, because that's not... Yeah, okay, so we're going to bump that way the fuck down. There we go, okay. That's better. But now you can kind of see it's a little bit more, like, luminous. I'm actually going to keep it right about there, I think. I'm checking my other monitor for balance. I think that looks good, actually. Because I don't want it to be glowing. However, his armor is magical and is a little bit more metallic, so I did want it to be a little bit more glowy. Now this part I might end up not liking, so actually, before I fuck everything up, we're gonna make that a new layer. I'm gonna call it Shinies 2, because now I'm starting to get into the part of this where I have too many layers and don't remember what anything is. I don't think I want that brush. Do I want to try marker? Yeah, okay. And I kind of just want to go over a couple of the scales to really bring them forward a little bit more than the rest, to kind of give a little bit more three-dimensionality to it. And make it more obvious that it is picking up the light. And to keep it from looking like it's too flat. Also, before we get too far into it, I do want to say thank you again, everybody who followed me today. Actually, only a couple of follows off from being qualified for affiliate, which is fun, because, well, it's fun considering I don't really do streaming like full-time. Like, I don't have any intention of making this like a career. But it's still really cool that like almost 50 of y'all like me enough to and like what you're watching enough to follow me. Like, that just, I just really appreciate that. And also I have a lot of fun things planned for like affiliate level stuff that I would love to be able to utilize and put into action. So thank you very much for helping make that happen, or at least helping me get towards that. I don't think I've hit it yet, but helping me get towards that. I appreciate you. I don't think it's something where I'm going to push for partner if I do hit affiliate, though. I think that's going to be a little bit too much, just because I'm already spreading myself fairly thin, so I'm trying to be realistic about my goals here. Save. Ellis! Hello! How are you, friend? Sneaking on in here. Thought I wouldn't see you. Glad to do my little bit, and I appreciate it very much. Steven! I didn't realize you weren't following me yet. Thank you, Steven. I do that to people all the time, too. I'm like, oh, how am I not following you already? There are people on Twitter where I'm like, I see their content because other people that I know follow them. And sometimes that goes on for like a month before I realize, oh, I'm not actually following them. Oops, let's change that. Then I feel like a dingus. It wasn't much of a sneak. I said hi, LMAO. That's fair. And sleepy. I'm a sleepy bish. You got to rest up, you sleepy bish. We had a very exciting day today between all the streams we were hopping around in. But I appreciate you being here even though you're sleepy. I didn't realize either. Whoops, that's fair. That is totally fine. Like I said, I'm guilty of it too. Okay, I'm gonna save because I'll be damned if I lose my progress. Okay. Excuse me. Sorry, Rue. I didn't realize Rue was sleeping over there. I woke her up. I'm a bad cat mom. Twitch sometimes does weird stuff and unfollows people. I believe it. Alright. I was about to do something. Oh, right, I remember. What am I doing? I'm doing detail work now. So one of the things that I learned by following a couple of YouTube tutorials actually is to make things look how do I explain? So to make these lines look more like actual grooves in the armor, if you throw a slightly lighter color on one side where the light would catch it, if it was like three-dimensional, it makes it look three-dimensional. So that's what we're gonna do, because these grooves are very much like slashes in his armor. Okay, I fell asleep just listening to this, and I love your drawing and listening to you talk. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you stopping in. I'm sorry that I made you fall asleep, but also that is strangely flattering, and I'm glad that you are enjoying it. But we'll leave a lurk because I struggle sleeping without something on in the background, and streams are the best to do that with. That is totally fair, Ellis. I appreciate you lurking. You the best. You please go get some rest. You do what you gotta do, bud. Because as I said before, you are a fantastic human being and I appreciate you. Alright. We're gonna save again, just in case I end up not actually liking what I just did. I think I want to add just a little bit more to his coat. And then I might stop before I take things too far, because I am notorious for doing that as well. I know, I appreciate that you tried to give me biddies, but I can't do that yet. I'm not quite there yet. Someday though. Someday I will be blessed by sorry I'm saying this, but someday I will be blessed by your biddies, Ellis. And that day will be glorious. You're too lovely. I love you so much. I love you too. You are wonderful. You can get some mental biddies then. Thank you. I appreciate that. We're gonna blend some of this out because I think that's a little too harsh. There we go. Even that I think is a little bit too much too. I could use a little bit more. Just a bit more. And we're gonna save again. Okay. Now I think I'm at a point where... Yeah, now I think I'm at a point where I want to go back into this line art layer and start changing the colors of things to see how they look. For example, I don't actually want his scar to be that color. I think the way it's looking now is a little bit too blue toned. So we're gonna put that on a lock so that I don't do that again. I don't want marker. No. It is that layer. Haha. I know what I'm doing. Okay. But I do want it to be... We're gonna play around with this color a little bit because I think I want it to be a little bit more warm toned. No. There we go. That's getting there. No. We're gonna go back and do... I have like a very specific way that I want this to look. Because it's an old scar. So I don't want it to be in your face like, holy shit, he has a scar. But I don't want it to kind of disappear either. Art is so good, oh my god. Oh, thank you. Also, who's the cutie in the bottom corner? Oh, the sunflower or me? Can it be both of us? Am I the cutie? Shucks, you're gonna make me blush. I'm just matching all the cuties in chat, obviously. Me? No, you. No, you. Everybody in chat is a cutie. What are my neighbors doing? I ask myself every day. Yes, I want to soften up some of the lines in his face. Just a bit. Just a smidge. You're an absolute cutie, my love. Alice, you're gonna make me blush on stream. What the heck? 'Twas I, the cutie the whole time? Yes. 'Twas, apparently. According to Ellis. Is this on the same layer? No, okay. I already forgot what I fucking did like 3 days ago, but it's fine. I also don't want his tusks to be that color. I want them to be more like this. Just kind of softening up interior lines so that they don't draw the eye too much. The real cutie was the friends we made along the way. The real friends were the cuties we saw along the way. 100%. Abso-freaking-lutely. There are children screaming outside. I hope they're playing. And not being in trouble. Because, they're probably playing. Probably. I'm gonna save. I think... No, I think I want his, yeah, his little half tooth. His little nubbin tusk. Okay, actually, what I want to do before I completely forget, because I already did like 7 times in this stream, I gotta make the little seashell necklace. I'm gonna look up pictures of seashells before I just make shit up. Where's my mouse? There it is. I'm gonna bring you over here. I'm still getting used to this like weird ass monitor setup that I have to have, in order to have like a somewhat decent background behind me if I have my webcam on, because otherwise if I face my actual monitor, which is over here, you're just gonna see my closet door and maybe my brother and me poster and my husband's desk and the cat, which is not as interesting. Okay, I think I want, let's see. Yeah, little scallop shells would be super cute. At least your housemate didn't start vacuuming at midnight in the room above yours. Oof. Oof, buddy. I don't miss having roommates or housemates. Last time I did was in college, and that was not super fun. I mean, I have a housemate now. It's my husband, and I chose him, so it's a little bit different. Alright, this is not going to be the same brush that all the other lines are done in, so I might end up redrawing this at some point when I bring it into Procreate, because I might not actually like how this looks. I think I want that to be not like that. Okay, that's a little bit better, yeah. I think that was a little too crunchy to start out with. But I also have a whiskey and a roux, that's true. I have my cats. They are very much like roommates sometimes, where they just do things and I'm like, really? Yes, you. Really? I almost put my tea in, I have a big ass mug that has a cat paw on the bottom and has little beans on it. And it's extremely cute, but extremely cumbersome to actually drink out of, and I decided it wasn't worth it. What is that? Okay. Okay, you get to see me actually draw on stream today. That's rare. Because I usually... Oh, actually, it would be more like... It would overlap like that. Because the hole would be right about there. Because usually it takes me so gosh dang long to do a drawing. I would be here all freaking day. I reserve behind the scenes stuff like that for my Ko-fi membership. Because if you want to see me struggling that hard, you're gonna have to pay me. Yeah, it just takes me so damn long to do any sort of sketching ever that it usually just take up too much time, and I think it's not actually very interesting to watch, but maybe I'm just biased. Because it doesn't feel like it's interesting. At 22 years old, too disabled to work, in a post-pandemic world, I don't have much of a choice living alone. But I have good roommates, they're good people and look after me. I kind of looked out in the roommate lottery. Oh, I'm so glad that you have people like that in your life, though, Ellis. Yeah, that's rough, buddy. I'm sorry. But I'm glad you have good people to surround yourself with. There we go. I'm gonna do some erasing there. And I kind of think that, like, they would also have some just, like, broken pieces of shells, too. Because, like, they're babies. They don't know any better. They probably crushed a lot of them when they gave it to him. Maybe at some point they did actually get some beads from the market or something, so that he has some legitimate beads on here too. But most of them are just the little shells. Maybe he's got like a shark tooth on here too. It wouldn't be that sharp. A little bit of texture. I'm gonna bring that down a little bit. Yee. And then some more kind of just like pieces of shell. There we go. You've got a little necklace. I'm gonna color it in on this layer, I think. Also, I have an amazing online community, but then you'd know all about that. Yeah, everybody's so freaking nice. We love to see it. Everybody on Lisa's server is just so freaking nice. It's ridiculous. Ridiculously wonderful. I do actually want this on a higher up level or layer. Yeah, I want this to go on. I think I actually need to erase some stuff. I don't remember what layer I put anything on. I have to erase some of this glorious chest hair, unfortunately. I know, 'tis a shame. That's gonna need to be erased. Hi, Bug. You gonna come say hi to everybody? Or are you gonna go underneath the desk? Aha, there it is. I had a feeling it was on the hair layer, but I wasn't sure. There we go. And also, I need to erase this part. Or, no, sorry. That layer. There we go. Here we go. I've never had a roommate who cleaned, so if a roommate vacuumed even at midnight, I'd probably celebrate. Fucking mood. I don't think I ever had a roommate that cleaned either. Like, not of their own volition anyway. Not without being told. I lived in more than one situation where a chore wheel was very much a thing for a bunch of, you know, people in their early 20s. Hi, big stretchies. Okay, bye. I thought maybe she would come up because there's birds outside and I can hear them, and she hates when there's birds outside. But it looks like she doesn't super care right now. That's okay. My first college roommate went away to college without even knowing how to do laundry. I had to teach him. Oh, buddy. One of my college roommates didn't know how to boil water. Which was interesting to teach them. That being said, now they know how to cook a lot of different things and are actually very good at it. Yeah, I was also surprised in college how many people don't actually know how to do laundry. Which I kind of understand because, like, I didn't start doing my own laundry until I was in high school. So I can kind of understand that. And, you know, everybody's home life is different. But I was genuinely surprised to learn that some people really didn't know, like, what settings to put things on. Also, not that I actually have, like, real settings on my on my washing and dryer machine now because they're just shitty old ones. Most of my clothes I just wash in cold water. I only do hot water for towels and sheets to sanitize. You want out? Yeah. Yeah? I don't know if you can hear her, but she sounds so pathetic. You want out? Okay. She's asking politely. I'll be right back, 1 second. Come on, bug. Of course, in like 5 minutes, because I closed the door, she's gonna want back in, but it's fine. You put water in a pot kettle and then turn the stove on. Yeah, it was something. They figured it out very quickly. I think it was more like, I don't know. I really don't know. Like, that was just the degree of which they didn't cook. Is they said that they didn't know how to boil water, and I was just like, it's not rocket science, luckily, so. I understand if you've always had other people do your laundry, but, like, he went hundreds of miles away to school and waited until he was out of clothes to seek help. Oof. And he's not shy at all. He's loud and proud about everything. Oh, buddy. Sorry, just took my teacup away and did some dishes. Yeah, roommates are a fucking lottery. No sorries, it's okay. I hope your tea was tasty. I'm gonna save. I am going to change the outline color of these shells, but I just wanted to make sure that I could actually see them. They might have been afraid to try and was afraid of screwing up. That's valid. Especially if you had to fucking pay to do your laundry like I did in college. Fuck that. And then everything was, like, broken half the time. Bullshit. I'm not salty about it or anything. Like, 6 years later. It was bullshit, though. The amount of money I was paying for college, and you couldn't have, like, more than 2 working laundry machines at one time. Please, give me a fucking break. Save. It was red cherry and almond flavored. Ooh, that sounds really good. I have a it's like a cinnamon based black tea, and then I added Starbucks pumpkin spice creamer to it because I thought that would be good, and it was, but I put way too much creamer in it. It's probably gonna I'm probably gonna suffer for it later, but it tastes good, so. It ended up way lighter than I usually take my tea. I also usually just put a splash of milk in. I don't usually do cream, or like half and half. And then I just add a fuck ton of sugar. Because I don't like bitter drinks. We did have to pay for laundry, yeah, but the laundry rooms literally had instructions for first timers and detergent vending machines. If you forgot, ran out. Oh, same! He was so confusing, dirty, and rude. Humans confused me. Honestly, though. I'm off to watch Jeopardy with my father. Have a good night day. Insert other time of day here. Thank you so much for joining us for the stream. I hope you enjoy the rest of your insert time of day here as well. And enjoy watching Jeopardy. It's been a long time since I've watched Jeopardy. It's been a while. Obligatory. My husband gets so annoyed when I do that. I don't care. I do try to hold it in sometimes, but other times I'm like, no. Fuck it. It's been a while. Yes, happy time zones. After the amount of dairy I've consumed today, I thought milkless tea was wise. That is valid, and I'm still very jealous of the cheese that you had. I think for dinner tonight I'm gonna have my leftover shepherd's pie because there's a lot of it. And I don't want it to go bad. Excuse me. I still have a cough from when I was sick like 2 weeks ago with bronchitis. It's a lot better than it was, but it's still there. So I apologize for the amount of times that I've had to stop to cough. Let's see, that might be too dark on the tooth. Okay, I like the colors. Now we're going to go in and shade it so that it actually looks like it is taking up space and has form. Because right now it kind of just looks like I copied and pasted a bunch of shit onto this, which is not what we did. So we're going to add some shadow underneath it to show that it does take up space. And I might adjust some of the lines too. I think the line weight isn't really helping. There we go. That already looks a lot better. Coughs are the worst. They linger forever. They really do. Oh my goodness. Right now my tea is finished. I'm gonna tuck myself in and just leave stream on in the background. I hope you have a good rest of the stream. Thanks so much for being lovely to me today. You are a wonderful being. Thank you so much, Ellis. I hope you have a very restful sleep. And I hope that, I don't actually remember what time of day it is for you, but I hope if you have the rest of a day to have, it goes very well. And if this is you going to sleep for the new day, I hope tomorrow is wonderful for you. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate the heck out of you, and you're a fantastic human being. And we're happy to have you. It's midnight. Go to bed! Go to bed. I hope you have good sleep, Ellis. Sweet dreams. Man, time zones are a bitch. I never remember, like, where anybody is or what time it is, and I always feel bad. Heart, love, heart hands. Okay. Okie dokie. Artichokey. Alright. You know, I was going to clean up the lines of the string a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to, because I think it makes it look like it's a cool, like, textured thread, so I think I'm just going to leave it. Time zones are so confusing, and then random daylight savings that are different for every country. Fuck daylight savings time, it's so stupid. I hate it so much, and it's so confusing. It doesn't make life any easier. It's dumb. I said what I said. You can quote me on this. I know I said that I was going to be doing the line art colors, but I'm just fussing around with details now. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to do line art color. For realsies this time, I'm going to do line art color. Okay. What I'm also going to do for his hair... Don't look at how many unnamed layers I have. Don't look. For his hair... I'm going to do some strands that break out of the line art to make it look a little bit more realistic. Because he has some very luscious hair. And we want to showcase that. Also going to be changing some of the colors of the hair for the line art for the hair. Words are difficult today. Especially where like his hair is kind of pulled back, because it wouldn't be perfect, you know? He would have some flyaways. Also, he's a pirate. His hair's not going to be perfect. It's all windswept and salt crusted. Maybe. He's a pirate, damn it. Also, I'm worried some of these lines maybe got a little bit lost. So I want to bring those back. Pirate orc, shiver me timbers. Absolutely. Aye aye, Captain. Hello. He's not actually, in the one shot, he's not actually the captain. But this commission is based off of some RP that happened after the fact, and kind of like is going to be taking place in between, well, I guess after where we actually are canonically in the series of one-shots. I believe he's the bosun. Pretty sure he's the bosun on our actual ship. And then May is the first mate, which is hilarious because she has a charisma of 8 or 9. Her modifier is a -1. And like one of the first things that it says for the first mate position is that you should have a high charisma, and I was like, no. It's funnier if I don't. But Mirzal is very much the type that's like very gruff and rough around the edges, but he does have a soft side to him. And he definitely lives by his own rules. The big fucker is the technical term, absolutely. 100%. And we love to see it. Just gonna go in a little bit more. I don't want to go too crazy in here with details because not everything needs to stand out the same way. I think that's good. I'm going to save that. Ooh, I don't like that color. You want that color? Yeah, that's better. Well, I kind of already did that there, so that's good. May doesn't lead by charisma, she leads by do it or I'll shoot you in the arse. Absolutely. I feel like she's only shot a crew member a handful of times. And probably not any of their current crew. Because they know better. Save. Okay. Oh, I think I'm also gonna do a little bit of shading in his eyebrows, because I realized I didn't do that earlier. I don't usually, but he has some pretty thick eyebrows, so we have space to work with there, which is fun. She shot Mers because he said she wouldn't. Yes, she did do that. She has shot Merzal. that is a fact. And Merzal probably didn't even feel it. I got 2 butt cheeks, guess I can mess up once. Exactly. Exactly. The one thing she's never had to do to a crewmate is call lightning on them. That's reserved for enemies. 'Cause that's some nasty shit. She's not an absolute asshole. She's just mostly an asshole. But, you know, with pirates, you gotta respect my fucking authority. Otherwise, get the fuck off my ship. And add a little bit more detail to his scruff. Okay, I think that's good. Back to what I was doing originally. I keep getting so distracted. God, the heckin' wildness of the hair. Yes! Like I said, it's very, like, windswept and... You know, he's a clean fella, all things considered. But he's still living out on the ocean most of the time, so, you know. His hair's not going to be perfectly coiffed. Okay. I think for some of this, I do want it to be... Let's see, we're going to play around with some colors here because I don't know... Oops, shit. Because I don't know how exactly I want it to look. I do want to soften up some of his jawline here, so that's why I'm going in with red instead of that green underneath. And then I think some spots I just want to soften just a little bit with the line art. And some spots I might end up making darker. We'll see how it ends up looking. Like a lot of these outer lines here where the highlight is catching, I don't want it to be so dark because it's catching the light. But the spots on the opposite end can, and I think I want that gone. I don't know what that is, but I want it gone. There we go. That looks a bit better. Okay. I do have to go back in and fix some of these edges here with the line art, because that is the thing with the technique that I use to get all of the colors down. Is I basically make sure that all of my liner is closed, and then I fill in the space outside of it, reverse it, and then fill in with a solid color like this. But sometimes it doesn't line up perfectly with the line art, and in the style that I used to do this with the line art, that didn't really make a difference, because the line art was an entirely separate layer and you couldn't see anything underneath it. But the way I'm doing the line art for this piece, it makes a difference because it's on multiply, so you get a better sense of what's underneath it. So it does actually need to be It does actually need to line up a little bit more than it is currently in some spots, so. Alright, I need to stop fussing with his hair. I could paint hair forever. I love painting hair. It's probably a very weird thing to say, but it's very relaxing. Oh, it got very dark outside. Oh my god, have I really been streaming for an hour and a half? Shit. Went by way faster than I expected it to. I don't know if I... Well, I guess I'll make that decision when I get there. What I was about to say is I don't know if I want to start on May today or if I want to save that for Wednesday's stream. Because all I would be doing for her is the color flats, because that's all I would have time to do tonight. But I might just call it whenever I'm done with this, and we'll save that. Excuse me, we'll save that for Wednesday. Because I was going to play some Final Fantasy tonight. Because I have a lot of work to do to get Raid ready. Okay. Oh, I do want... Boop. I really hate waking up at 4 a.m. for work. I don't want to go to bed. Oof, 4 a.m. Oh, buddy, that fucking sucks. I'm so sorry. I get up at 6:30 and I thought that was bad. But 4 a.m., shit. That is early. I'm not a morning person, so I don't envy you whatsoever. That being said, I do hope that you get some sleep soon. Man, my stutter today has just been very prominent, and I'm not entirely sure why. I don't know what my deal has been today. I feel like it isn't usually like that. Maybe it's the caffeine. Maybe that's not helping. Yeah, so the handle of his sword is actually a it's actually in the shape of an anchor. You can't really see it the way I have it drawn, but you can tell. I mean, these are some of the spots where I'm gonna have to go in and fill in more of the color so that it matches up with the edges of the lines better. Because I mean, if you don't know what you're looking for, you can't really tell at 100%. But I know it's there. So we're gonna fix it. And we're gonna throw a lighter color here. Just a slightly darker, because I don't want it to be quite as dark as it is currently. Here we go. And that's that for the sword. We're gonna save again. Okay. Oh, did I undo it? There we go. Save again. Still getting used to the, like the tablet buttons on the side. Alright, I think I want to... Oh yes, I was gonna mess around with... I was actually gonna mess around with the color of his tattoos, because they're not quite the color I want them to be. The way that this is currently... I'm not entirely sure how to go about fixing that. I think maybe just having them solid black might help. Because I don't actually want them to be a solid black, because that's not what tattoos look like, especially if they're faded. But I do want them to be darker, so I think that might actually work. Yeah, okay. I do actually like that. Just going in and softening up some more lines that don't necessarily need to be quite so in your face. Like, I think I can afford to lighten these lines up a smidge. I didn't really do much. It's okay. What I can do is I can just paint over them. I have the power to do that, so that's what we're gonna do. Just because, again, I don't think it needs to be quite so stark. Yeah, 90 to 120-minute commute on mass transit or $40 to $50 Uber trip, moving in 2 weeks at least, so almost there. Oof, buddy, that is rough. I'm glad that you are... I'm hoping moving to someplace where that's not the case anymore, and you don't have to do such a ridiculous commute. Oh my goodness. I could not imagine. Public transportation makes me anxious, but also so does driving. Because I am one of the gays that can drive, but would very much prefer not to. Yeah, new apartment is walking distance to work. Nice! That's awesome. And hey, like you said, you're almost there. Just a little bit longer. Alright, stop. Stop painting hair, Shay. Stop it. We're not doing that right now. Coloring line art, damn it. Focus. Okay. Okay. That being said, it's only a couple more spots, and then I'm probably going to do the line cleanup off stream because I don't think that's very fun to watch. I'm literally just tightening up some lines. But then Merzal is basically done, which is exciting. Excuse me. Trading quick access to school for quick access to work, because now I'm in my internship and only have 1 class versus 3 days of work. Nice. That's a fair trade, I feel like. That's a good sense of prioritization there. That needs to be lighter, and I think not as saturated. Yeah, that's a bit better. I like that. I know I made his shin armor a blue toned silver at first, but I feel like having the liner in that warmer brown just works better somehow. Rent is hella higher, but still saving money by moving due to transportation costs. That's fair. Man, rent is bullshit. Ours keeps going up like every year that we're here, which I get it. Some things, you know, cost fluctuates for things, but it's been consistently getting like $100, like $50 to $100 more expensive every year, with, you know, not a whole hell of a lot to show for it for us. So it's just kind of like, we can't afford to move right now though. And quite frankly, I don't think there's a lot of more affordable housing close enough to work to make it worth the move. Because right now, Rob and I currently, my husband and I currently work at the same place, which is super convenient. So we carpool now, which saves us money on gas, which is also very nice. Just softening up more of these interior lines. The exterior lines I don't mind being quite so bold. That's the word, bold. Adulting is icky. Why can't it be like Pokemon where money hardly exists? Mood. Although there are a lot of things about Pokemon that I wouldn't want to trade out. I think if I saw anything remotely similar to a Pokemon approaching me, I would shit my pants. Like, some of them are a little scary. Rent increases do suck. Gonna save. And I think aside from some of the... Oh, I know what I can do. still on stream. But pretty much aside from some of the little, like, cleanup things I'm going to be doing before I send this bad boy off, I think we're basically done. But I'm going to do... Just get a little bit of a shadow under here. How are we doing on time? Perfect, okay. So I don't like having like a super noticeable shadow underneath the figures. But some spots are going to be a little bit darker than others. And then I just kind of blend it all out until I like how it looks. I think some of this is maybe blended out a little bit too much. And then we'll do just a little bit over here, because the sword does also have a shadow, but just slightly. And he does have a, and this is the technical term, a big fuck off sword. So large that it doesn't fit on the canvas, because of course he does. He's a big strong orc boy, so half-orc boy, excuse me. I'm gonna do a little bit more blendy. Photoshop some waves in the background. Maybe. No, there's a paper texture that I'm gonna throw in the background before I send it to you, Steven. Alright, I'm gonna save. And... Well, Steven, since you're here, what do you think? Aside from the little edits that I'm gonna do before I actually send off the files to you. But aside from that, Mirzal is complete. Oh, that feels good. I'm very pleased with how he turned out. So I hope you like him too. I think that's where I'm... Yeah, it's your boy! It's a boy! I think I'm gonna call it here for today. On Wednesday's stream, weather permitting, because it is supposed to like thunderstorm all week, and I was very fortunate that we didn't lose power today. So weather permitting, which is the weirdest thing to say, but I'm gonna be doing the partner piece to Mirzal, which is his literal partner, May, who is my gunslinger Tempest cleric, and just overall hot mess. So that's what we're going to be doing on Wednesday. But in the meantime, I'm going to drop a couple of links in chat if you'll bear with me for just a moment. Hi, if you're new here and you're not already following me on Twitter, you can do so by following that link. Twitter is where I post pretty much all of my art, and anytime I'm going live, you'll see it there, and just general ramblings about D&D and my characters and my friends' characters and all that fun stuff. Another link, you might have heard me talk about my Ko-fi before. If you would like to support me, feel free to throw a coffee my way. It's always super appreciated, but never an obligation. If you are like a super fan and you want some sweet behind the scenes bennies, you can become a member on Ko-fi to see some sneak peeks that other people don't usually get to see, and to see things before I post them on my Twitter. And I mentioned a couple of times here my commissions. You can find all of my commission info on my website here. My commissions will be closed until 2022 because I am very slowly working on the last of my waitlist, and the holidays are a thing, and I'm just generally not going to have time to dedicate to it. But if you're interested, you can check out all the information and pricing info and what I offer there. And if you have any questions or want to get a quote on a project, feel free to drop me a line. But other than that, I think we're pretty much done here. Thank you all so very much for joining me today. It means a lot to me that you took your time to hang out and enjoy me struggling through what I do all the time. I very much appreciate it. You are all fantastic people. I hope you have a wonderful day. And until next time, bye everybody. Mwah.